Matthew 12 and 43. When the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walketh through dry places, seeking rest, and finding none. Then he saith, I will return unto my house from whence I come out. And when he is come, he findeth it empty, swept, and garnished. Then goeth he and taketh with himself 7 other spirits more wicked than himself, and they enter in and dwell there. And the last state of that man is worse than the first. Even so shall it be also unto this wicked generation. All right, I'd like to say first and foremost, Barakatha Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem HaKodash. Double honors to head apostles, bishops, elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to you brothers in the highways and byways, doing the work sincerely and faithfully and continually fighting that good fight of faith. Lord willing, we are found in that number to be delivered, all right? So this lesson is inspired by what transpired yesterday at camp, and I was just pondering on it. I said, let me do a quick lesson on it, all right? And it's just to show you, man, that this truth is nothing to be played with, all right? You individuals out there who are running around, talking about you still in the truth and you're men of the Lord and, Great Millstone got it wrong and all this other nonsense. You do realize, right? You do realize that the shit that you're doing, if you was in the right, you'd have to start the clock all over again. All right? We are at the end. Look at the prophecies that are popping off. Look at the things that are taking place. All right? We are at the end of this thing. So just by watching the prophecies and seeing the things that are happening, you people got to ask yourself, are we truly, the ones the Lord has set up? And I can answer that for you. Absolutely not. All right? So this past weekend, we had a demon. This dude who used to come around, listen to us speak. He learned the name from us, through the Spirit of the Lord. He learned the name and, was always asking, questions, then dumb questions. And quite frankly, I didn't like the nigga. But all that being said, when the camp split, this dude went off with them other demons, right? And now these demons are calling upon Yahshua. It's again, and it's no surprise. It's really no surprise. But the point being made is this, and this is why I read Matthew 12 and 43. This is why I read it. When that one demon goes out and gets some other 7 demons, we saw it truly manifest yesterday. We saw it truly manifest. Because the nigga that came up, excuse my language, but the dude that came up, he had that look in his eyes, right? Eyes is peeled. And you can tell that he did not have control over his body. This dude was out of control. So when he got to us, he's talking about peace and blessings. I love y'all. Then the nigga dropped down to his knees, talking about let me kiss your feet. All right? So brothers got the hell out of Dodge. Yo, get away from us. Get out of here. Get out of here. So we finally, get up. Get out of here. So he finally stood up and he's talking about, I love y'all. Y'all, the fruit of the spirits. Y'all, I love y'all. So we said, listen, we don't love you, bro. Get on down the road. Get out of here. We don't want nothing to do with you. So he starts running his mouth, talking about we ain't men of the Lord and all kinds of other shit. And I said to him, I said, well, hold up, yo. I said, hold up. I said, you told us we didn't know Yahweh Shai. I said, well, wait a minute. I said, them dudes that used to be here, aren't you with them? He goes, yup. I said, well, how does that work? I said, you here calling upon Yahweh Shai, and they call upon Yahshua. And the dude, you can see in his eyes, he goes, yeah, that's all right, because sometimes I call on Yahshua. And you can see this was a total demon that has possessed that man. Totally took over his body. So he gets to yelling and screaming out there, right? Drawing a big scene. So much so, the park rangers had come down on them big ass horses. Boom, boom, galloping. And they came over and they surrounded him, right? And the first thing the elder said was, "Oh, he's all right. He's all right." And the horses was kind of, shooing that nigga away. And the ranger on the horse said, "Oh, he's okay." And elder's like, "Yeah, he's all right. He's all right." And they kind of just moved him along. But that being said, she looked back at us and said, "Y'all okay?" We like, "Yeah, we're good. We're good." And she said, "All right." So she galloped, her and the other partner on the horses galloped out into the sunset or whatever. But the nigga was still on like in close proximity. We could see him. Probably about 20 yards away from us. And you can see that the spirit, that the demonic spirit left him because he was quiet. He was sitting down, and you could see the elder said when he looked over there, he saw him talking to himself. And then when I looked over there, you can see it was like he just got out of a 5,000 meter race. He was just kind of hunched over on the slab of cement, just sitting there, and you could tell his body was drained because them demons had left him. All that yelling he was doing, all that rah-rahness he was going, that shit was all gone. And then the nigga that was with him, they both riding around here with dreads, and they kind of walk down the road, talking about, they out there trying to save lives or whatever they said. But all that being said, this ain't no goddamn game, man. This truth is serious. It's deadly serious. All right? And for you young YNs, you YNs out there who think you know something and you think you doing something positive, you ain't coming in the name of Yahweh Shemi Shai. And this is why the Lord's going to destroy a lot of you. Because you're demons and you're wicked as all hell. I said to that man, I said, "Well, wait, let me ask you a question." I said, "Where did you learn the name from? We don't know Yahweh Shai, but where did you learn the name from?" "I learned it from y'all." I said, "So now are you a hypocrite? Because you came here to learn, and now you coming here saying we're wicked? Come on, man." But anyway, all that being said, they scurried on down the park. They scurried down the road. They didn't come back. But to see that man being overtaken by a demonic spirit, it was a sight, man. It was truly a sight. Then after that demon jumped off of him, you could see him over there, and he was looking like, "Damn, what just happened?" He had a real confused look on his face, like he don't know what the fuck happened. And rightfully so, because once that demon took over him and possessed his body, it was the demon manifesting himself through him. So again, this thing is nothing to be played with. This is not a game, and you cats out there who are running around here talking about peace and blessings, and that's another thing. You got to watch out for these cats that run around talking about peace and blessings. All right? We on the brink of the time of Jacob's trouble. We on the brink of, having these devils really starting to act wild out here. You run around talking about peace and blessings. Got a lot of demons out here, man. A lot of characters. Let's continue on. This is 2 Peter 2. And let me start at these are wells without water. I'll start at 17. Yeah, it says these are wells without water, clouds that are carried with the tempest, to whom the midst of darkness is received forever. For when they shall speak great swelling words of vanity, they are lured through the lust of the flesh, through much wantonness. Those that were clean, escape from them who lived in error. While they promise them liberty, they themselves are servants of corruption. For of whom a man is overcome, of the same is brought into bondage. Verse 20. For if after they have escaped the pollutions of the world through the knowledge of our Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach, they are again entangled therein and overcome. You see? And this is what happens. When you go back into the world, you're entangled again. Okay? And all those wicked things that you used to do have now jumped back on you. That demon and those other demons that entered into your body. Okay? Now you can't control it. Verse 20 again says, for if after they had escaped the pollutions of the world through the knowledge of the Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach, they are again entangled therein and overcome. The latter end is worse with them than the beginning. And this is what we're seeing out here. Men are now getting worse and worse and worse. And there's a whole bunch of them out there. So much so, you truly believe the Lord got you believing that you're still in the truth, that you're a man of the Lord. Verse 21, it says, for it had been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness. You see that? It had been better for you not to have known the way of righteousness. All right? Because this word tried you. The Lord tried you by his word. Right? And found that you were not worthy. You were not worthy to handle this sword. Okay? As it is written, for it had been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness, than after they have known it, to turn from the holy commandment delivered unto them. That's exactly what y'all did. But the Lord set you up this way. The Lord placed you in that lot. Talking about we left because we wanted to. You ain't do a damn thing. The Lord kicked your ass out. Anybody from 2007 till present who got on this damn YouTube and talking about we left, the reason why we left. You didn't do a damn thing. The Lord kicked your asses out. The Lord booted you. Yahweh Shai booted you. And this is why the majority of these men who have turned away, all right, the Lord has stripped that name from him. Totally stripped the name from him. All right? Verse 22, it says, but it has happened unto them according to the true proverb. Right? According to the true proverb. The dog is turned to his own vomit again, and the sow that was washed to her wallowing in the mire. All right? So if you've gone back into the filthy world, you've accepted your fate of being a worldly, carnal man. And this is what you deserve. All right? You're going to get what you deserve. The ways of this world, the ways of wickedness. There's no light in any of you. And this is why the Lord's going to make a great example out of the whole lot of you. A great example. Deuteronomy 28:28. It says, the Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. And that's exactly what you're seeing. This cat that came up on the camp this weekend, he was totally mad, man. He was out of his mind. He was out of his mind. Them demons had him all, they manifested themselves all in his body, and they was working, boy. His eyes was peeled back. He was yelling. He was moving all over the place. One minute he's on the ground trying to kiss our shoes. Next thing he's up talking about he can't stay, he hates us, and all this other shit, whatever he was talking, man. It was wild. It was truly wild, man. And it just makes you, thank Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai for keeping you in a sound mind and sound body and spirit, man. Right? All these men who've come in from 2007 till present and have decided that they believe that this wasn't the way for them. And they all turn back to Christianity at the end of the day, because that's the only thing this world knows. The only thing that this world knows is Christianity. Love. That's all they know. And that's what that demon was talking about when he came to the camp. I love you. I love you, brothers. I love you. The hell out of here, man. We don't want nothing to do with you. Any of you. Right? So that as you walk around this place, know that the Lord smote you with madness. Ain't nobody to blame but Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. You want to point the finger? Point the finger at Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Jeremiah 48:10, it says, cursed be he that doeth the work of the Lord deceitfully. When you go out there and you teach the shit that you're teaching, you're doing the work of the Lord deceitfully, because you know you have been blessed to understand or see the way of righteousness. But as it is written, the dog has turned to his vomit again, right back into the world, right back into being worldly. And the only avenue you have to take now is to jump on board with Christianity. You know, this is as they say, this is your last Hail Mary to try to save yourself. Esau's way. Trying to save yourself the Edomite way. Talking about blessings, peace, love, and blessings. Yeah, man, the Lord's gonna get y'all niggas, man. Genesis 4:7, I'm gonna wrap it with this. It says, if thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. All right? You cats ain't doing well, man. All you other groups, you're so steadfast on trying to promote yourself. Trying to promote your clothing line, trying to promote your podcast, trying to just be in the forefront that everybody can know your name. All right? It ain't about you. It ain't about what you want. It ain't about how you want to be perceived. All right? This is the time to usher in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Wasn't it not written in Matthew 25? The bridegroom cometh. Go ye out to meet him. So it's all about preaching the bridegroom who's coming. That's what it's about. Okay? So it says, if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. Okay? So all that being said, the main point is this truth ain't nothing to be playing with. The Lord is a severe power, man. All right? And if you think for 1 minute that you're going to run around and call upon all kinds of names and play the Lord out like he's some sucker, that you can just do whatever you want without no consequence, you sadly mistaken, man. And may the Lord make any and all of y'all a great public example when it comes time to cast down that judgment. All right? So I'm going to end it with that. Lord willing, I'm going to see y'all another one. I'm going to say shalom.